Thanks for coming back to my channel. My name is Anne, and I call this channel a senior's friend because I have worked for many years managing various retirement residences, and I've also worked for many years in home care. I have been very passionate about supporting our senior population for a number of years now, for most of my career actually. I really want to support our senior population and their families and primary caregivers. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a power of attorney. A power of attorney is a legal document that allows you to appoint someone that you trust to make decisions on your behalf in the event that you're not able to. I am not a lawyer, I am not a nurse, I am not a doctor. I have no clinical background. I have an operations background, but I've been around seniors and their families long enough to have had some experience with people who have been in the position of having to appoint a power of attorney. You don't need to have a lawyer create the document for you in Ontario, where I live, in Canada. However, I would strongly encourage you to seek out some legal advice from a lawyer. They can guide you on what to put in a legal document. This legal document is power of attorney. They can talk to you about any family dynamics that you may be having. You know, I've met with families where there were a number of adult children. One person was appointed as power of attorney. Not everybody agrees on what's best. Everybody wants what's best for mom or dad. Not everybody agrees on what that looks like. And so it can be challenging, particularly for the person who holds power of attorney. So you can appoint someone as power of attorney just for care, which means in the event that you become unwell and you're not able to make decisions about your care, or where to live, if someone develops dementia and is not cognitively well enough to be able to make choices for themselves in terms of their safety and where they're going to live, then the power of attorney would step in and be able to make those decisions for you. Or alternatively, there is a power of attorney for property and finance. Can be two separate people. Can be the same person who holds power of attorney for both. You can assign more than one person as power of attorney. If you have 2 children, 3 children, you can put all of them on the power of attorney document, and they would have to make decisions collectively together on your behalf. So again, I strongly encourage you to reach out to a lawyer, get some legal advice. The person who holds power of attorney only gets to make decisions up until the event of your passing. If you pass away, then whoever is appointed as executor of your will step in and take over. Power of attorney is it's a very important thing to have in place, in my opinion, because if you become unwell and you're no longer able to make decisions for yourself, you really want to ensure that you have someone that you trust to make decisions for you on your behalf. Whether it be your children, a spouse, a family friend, or a professional. You could appoint your accountant or your lawyer as power of attorney. I would encourage you to speak with them first, ensure that they agree to take on that role. It's a hefty role, has a lot of responsibility to it. The person holding power of attorney, they should be keeping really detailed, documented records about everything that they're doing on your behalf. If it's power of attorney for property, and let's say you become unwell and they make the decision that you need to move into a retirement residence or long-term care, and they make the decision to sell your house on your behalf so that you've got the funds available to pay for your lodging, they need to be able to demonstrate and have documentation to demonstrate what they've done on your behalf, so that in the event that someone contests or challenges their authority through the court system, you want the person who's holding power of attorney to be able to say, here's my documentation, this is everything that I've done. I can clearly demonstrate and prove that every dime that my mother has, or every profit or proceeds that she gained from the sale of her property, all went back into her account. Here are the records that the retirement residence is being paid. You want to ensure that this person understands the breadth and the scope of that role. Again, it's another good reason why you should connect with a lawyer, get some legal advice. the person that you're asking to be power of attorney for you may want to reach out to a lawyer and, really understand, really learn about what that means, what the responsibilities are, to ensure that they're making an informed decision for themselves as well. In the event that you become unwell, are no longer able to make decisions for yourself, but you don't have anyone who can act as your power of attorney, I have had residents, unfortunately, who were in that position. I once had a lady who, when she moved herself into the retirement residence, she was fully capable. She made all of the decisions, she made all of the plans for herself, she moved herself in, lived there. By the time I met with her, she had been there for, I think, 11 or 12 years. Loved where she lived. She was a vibrant lady. I really loved her. She would dance every time we played music, but she eventually developed dementia. And by the time I got to know her, the dementia was advancing quite rapidly. And so at a certain point, it became very, very apparent that she was no longer capable of making decisions for herself. And so we had to reach out to people from the government. We had to reach out to her care coordinator from Home and Community Care Support Services. We had to reach out to a government organization called Public Guardian and Trustee. They became involved because, to our knowledge, there was no family. This lady didn't have children. She didn't have a spouse. There was no family on record that we could find. And so the Public Guardian and Trustee began an investigation, and they will act as power of attorney for someone only as a last resort. They are not eager to take on that role for a number of reasons. And I do believe that there is a cost associated to the individual if they do have to act as power of attorney for someone. But again, check into that if you're in that situation. And so in that particular case, they were able to find a nephew. So if someone is ready, willing, and able to take on the role, they will assign power of attorney to that individual. However, there were some dynamics that I was unaware of between the resident and her nephew. And so part of the problem, part of the issue was that her illness had advanced to a stage where she was having some delusions. She was, very suspicious of people stealing from her, and it was very sad to watch. And so it was overwhelming for her nephew because she was accusing him of some things, and he opted out. Which, from my perspective, I think it's important to understand your personal boundaries and what you're able to cope with and what you're not. And I pass no judgments whatsoever. I much prefer to see someone step up and say, I really care for my aunt. I really want what's best for her, but unfortunately, this is just not something I can take on right now. Fair ball. And so the Public Guardian and Trustee ended up having to act as power of attorney for this lady. And she ultimately moved to long-term care because she needed to be in long-term care. Her care needs exceeded our ability to manage in the retirement residence at that point. And when a bed became available, she was moved to long-term care. And so you should be aware, and I always encourage people to start planning in advance as much as you possibly can for your future. Start making good decisions for yourself now if you're able to, and prepare for the day when you're no longer able to make decisions for yourself, because you want to ensure, again, that your wishes are going to be honored. So I feel strongly that everyone should take the time to consult a lawyer, get as much information as you can about a power of attorney document. What does that mean? When is it enacted? Is it enacted automatically when you sign the paper? A lot of people that I have met with and dealt with were of the opinion that as soon as they signed on the dotted line, my power of attorney for care, that means you all of a sudden get to start making decisions for me, whether I'm competent or not. That's not necessarily the case. So again, talk to a lawyer, seek out some advice. There is a great piece of literature, a question and answer document on the Government of Ontario website. I will put the link in the comment section below this video so that you can go online, have a look, start reviewing, start gathering some more information about this topic, and make some informed decisions for yourself so that you can make sure that if and when the time ever comes that you're not able to make decisions for yourself, you know that there is someone that you can trust there who is ready, willing, and able to take on that responsibility and will take it seriously and will follow your wishes to the letter. That is my hope for you. So thank you for joining me this evening, and I will touch base with you again soon. Bye.